that they had in their property before.
Aaron Gilmore.
Chair, look, I mean, this vote has been put forward, Canterbury Earthquake Recovery has been put forward by this government as a response to the worst ever natural disaster that this country has ever seen in our history, and I hope in all of our histories in this House. And I think the Minister sitting in the chair has done a wonderful job in what work we've done today. And we actually heard from the other side of the House some of the compliments that have been given to Mr Brownlee as the Minister in charge of the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery. And I just want to reiterate some of those. Mr Brownlee, if there was a time for a wonderful man to step forward, and if you wanted a person to stand in front of the people of Canterbury and deliver, it's a Canterbury son who's a former builder and understands what the issue with the people of Canterbury are dealing with, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, I mean, one of the wonderful things we've seen, we've actually had 3 major disasters that we've seen, not just one, we've had 3 major disasters. We've seen Mr Brownlee stand steadfast every single one of them. We've seen the Prime Minister come down to Christchurch, stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Canterbury, including the Mayor Bob Parker, and outline to them that we will step behind them, we will rebuild our great, wonderful city in the South Island, Mr Chair, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We have a fund that's put inside in this estimates debate that talks about $5.5 billion. That's a drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket, Mr Chair, but we need a lot of support and help from the good people of New Zealand to rebuild our city. And the Minister who's sitting in the chair has steadfastly stood up for the people of Canterbury, whether they come from the eastern suburbs or the western suburbs, from the rich houses or the poor houses. This man has stepped behind them and actually put forward many, many options for them. We only saw just today, Mr Chair, we only saw just today one of the great things, how some of this money will be spent. Today, Mr Chair, we've had put in place a situation where half legal fees will be paid for, up to $750 for those people in the affected red zone, Mr Chair, and that's a good step forward. We've seen the issue put forward of allowing upfront deposits for those people who take up the option of taking their offer that they'll get in a few weeks, Mr Chair. And those are the sort of things, when you go out and talk to the community, that they wanted, Mr Chair, because this government listens to what the people want and is using some of that $5.5 billion wisely to deliver to the people some of those things that they do really want, and they do think that is important. It's not about the issues around the side. It's not about the media hype and rubbish that some of the other opposition people have put forward. It's about someone who's solid and reliable, like the Minister, Mr Brownlee, to put forward those things that the people actually need to get back on their feet and get our city recovering again. And the people of Canterbury, Mr Chair, are showing that themselves. 76% of people in a recent Christchurch Press poll said the government's doing a good job. 76%. And I think for Mr over there, Mr Cosgrove over there, I think they would love to have those sort of numbers in their side of the party. But 76% of the public are happy with what the government is doing, Mr Chair, and we think that's a good step forward. You see, Mr Chair, in terms of what actually is happening in Canterbury, there was a talk from the opposition that 20 to 30 to 50,000 people would be unemployed. What have we seen? Nothing like that, Mr Chair. We heard from the opposition something like 50 to 100,000 people would leave our city. What have we seen? Nothing like that. Because we have leaders like John Key and Jerry Brownlee who are willing to put forward options for these people to move ahead and commit to their lives in Canterbury for the next 1, 2, 10, 20 years. Christchurch has had more jobs, Mr Chair, in the last 3 months than Auckland and Wellington combined. And over there, those members sat there and told those people in this House that Canterbury would have a massive increase in unemployment. We've seen absolutely the reverse, Mr Chair. In the Christchurch Press on the weekend, there were 17 pages. And the member over there, Smirky, might be actually looking at some of those pages because he might need a job in a couple of months' time. Because I think on the latest polling, there's about half a dozen of those people on the other side of the House might need a job in Christchurch. We'll give it to them. 17 pages of jobs in the Christchurch Press, plenty of work. You might have to work a bit harder, Mr Cosgrove. You might not be used to having hard work, your hands a bit dirty, but who knows? Who knows? There's plenty of things that you can do. Mr Brownlee needs a lot of help in Sierra, and so does Mr Roger Sutton, who's doing a good job. Mr Cosgrove might be aimlessly employed in some way. But you see, this House has put forward the confidence of Mr Brownlee and the Prime Minister in this vote to rebuild our fair city, the city that I was born in and many generations of my family were, Mr Chair. And I think one day we'll stand back and we'll look at the great job. We'll look back in 10, 20 years' time, when those members on that side of the House probably won't be here, And you'll turn around and you'll say, what a great job that Jerry Brownlee did. What a great job that Prime Minister John Key did at a time of the worst natural disaster in New Zealand history. They'll build statues of this man. They'll build statues of this man. What a great, wonderful it is. And restoring the heritage and the great grandeur and the greatness of Canterbury, Mr Chair. And we will sit back and say what a wonderful time that was. Thank you.
Cast concrete.
Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrave.
I know this is an unusual situation, and I know Mr Brownlee's too modest to do it, but I seek leave for an extension of time of that speech, he said.
A member can take a call if he wishes. Brendan Burns.
No,
Can't seek leave for somebody else. Brendan Burns.
Thank you, Mr Chair.